I posted this video the other day on my TikTok page about having reusable headbands for Jude Duarte hair horns, and you guys asked how to make it, so today I am going to show you how. First off, you want to start with your supplies. I like to get a pack of pre-stretched Kanekalon in the color that best matches your hair or your wig. I got some caps to put on for decoration. You're going to need some paper towels, some aluminum foil, and a nice headband that will not snap. If you have a wig head, that is great. If you don't, it's possible to make them without one. The first thing that you're going to do is use 2 or 3 paper towels, depending on how big you want your horns, and you're going to try to kind of scrunch it up in the rough shape that you want your hair horns to be. The reason that we're doing this is because paper towels are very lightweight and they will not make your headband too heavy. After that, we are going to take tin foil and just a loose layer and move it over the paper towel to try to hold that shape a little bit better, and then slowly start molding it and bending it into the exact shape that you want it to be. After that, we are going to get some wire and we are going to thread it through the bottom of the tin foil and kind of tie it onto itself. And then we are going to wrap this around the tin foil and start making a little bit of a cage. This is going to make our hair horns hold their shape when all is said and done. When you're done, just tie that off onto itself so it has that structure, and you can use as much or as little wire as you think that you need. And then we just repeat the same process for the other side. Now this part is very important. Take some cheap masking tape. I like to get this at the dollar store and wrap it all the way around the tin foil. Do several layers of this. This really helps smooth out that shape and make it so the texture is not terrible once you start attaching the hair, and this also helps your structure a lot. Now I have a glass with a little bit of water in it, and I'm going to pour some glue into that and start mixing that up with a paintbrush. It's about 2 parts glue, 1 part water, and then I'm going to brush this all over the tape in sort of like a weird paper mache type thing. The reason that I'm doing this is so that the tape doesn't start peeling up at the edges, and so it has kind of like a plasticky finish to it. After that, I'm going to get a piece of thin cardboard. The thinner you can get it, the better, really. And I'm going to glue it to the bottom of the hair horn. This is so I can make kind of a sandwich of cardboard and hair horn to go over the headband and attach it, because if we do not attach it very securely, then all of this is pretty much for nothing. So I'm doing 1 piece of cardboard on the top of the headband, and then I'm doing another piece of cardboard on the bottom of the headband. And I don't show that super well here, I'm sorry, but I do that on both sides. And then I'm going to take some tape and repeat the process again of taping everything and gluing everything. And if you guys watch my channel, you know that I usually use my nicer camera to film these tutorials. However, that camera is very unreliable right now and it keeps breaking, so I just used my phone so I would not have to miss any parts of this tutorial if my camera broke. And then we are going to let that glue dry, and then we are going to take some paint in the same color as your hair, and we are going to paint over that tape. This is so that if your hair ever moves a little bit, or if you happen to miss a small spot, it won't be super obvious and your hair horn will still look good instead of having that stark color of that tape peeking through your hair. Then you want to start grabbing your hair and separating it, and then taking some hair gel and moving it down the hair from the middle. It's very important that you do this from the middle and not the end, because if you do it from the end, everything will get tangled and screwed up. And then take some hot glue and straight up just start gluing the hair to the base of the hair horn. I like to smooth mine down with a comb. You can use your fingers, you can use another tool, whatever works for you. And we are going to just repeat this process until the entire hair horn is covered. A little bit of hot glue, press the hair down, move on. It's very important that you use small amounts of hot glue, because if you use too much, the hot glue will form shapes that kind of show through the hair, and it's very hard to cover them up. After we do that, we are going to use some hairspray. This is the classic cosplay got to be glued hairspray. And we are going to spray that down so everything stays in place. And then of course, we are going to repeat the exact same process for the other hair horn. After that, we are going to tie a little bit of that braiding hair to our wig form or whatever you are using to hold it stable, and we are going to make some smaller braids. These braids are going to be used to give the hair horns a little bit of a more ornate look. I'm making a few of these just so I can pick the best ones that match each other and go from there. After that, we are going to do a larger braid to put at the base of the hair horns to kind of cover up where they meet the headband. I'm doing a 5-strand braid, but you can do a 3-strand, a 4-strand, whatever you want. You can even do a 2-strand. 5-strand is just my personal favorite for this kind of thing. After that, we are going to put some hot glue on the base of that 5-strand braid and kind of press it down so we have an end to that and we can snip the excess hair off without our braid unraveling. And then we are going to kind of fluff it out because we do need a lot of coverage. Now I'm taking some hair scissors and I am just cutting the flyaway hairs off of this. And this is kind of dangerous, honestly, because we're using a lot of flammable materials, but I am also going to take a lighter and wave it over those hair horns to try to get those flyaway hairs completely gone. Now we are going to be attaching our smaller braids to the hair horns. Same process as attaching the base hair where you just use a tiny bit of glue and then press the hair down. I'm doing these in kind of a curving shape symmetrically on both sides to give the hair horns that fancy look. When you move all the way down to the base of the braid, take some hot glue, glue it to the bottom on the underside of the hair horn, and then just cut the excess hair off. Now we are going to be attaching the 5-strand braid to the bottom of the hair horn. So go ahead and kind of follow the same process and then glue it to the base of the hair horn on the underside so you can't see where that is attached. Last step is we're going to take some of these braiding cuffs and we are going to flatten them out so we can shape them around the top of our hair horn as needed. And then you are done. This is the final look. These were for a client, so I was not able to get any footage of them in cosplay. But if you follow this tutorial and you make any hair horns, please let me know, tag me if you post it on social media, and thank you guys for watching.